Happy Saturday, Connect fam. Welcome to another insightful episode, the Connect Network on the CW. I'm your girl Stitches, my gal pal Sandy Glant and Wendy Morales. They're off today, but don't worry at all. We have some empowering women here to keep you company. Well, keep us company. And we're going to be discussing how we can step into this new season healthier and wealthier. And this Women's History Month, we're going to be celebrating continuously with a lineup of female entrepreneurs. They're going to be coming by to give us the tools needed to really maintain a healthy and wealthy lifestyle and business. And my first guest today is here to give those daily tools that can help really live the dream life that you've always wanted to or maybe thought about. Executive coach and entrepreneur, public speaker, and best-selling author. She's all the things, honey. Stacy L. How are you, Stacy?
Hey, I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on to the show. So let me pronounce it properly because I'm gonna call you Stacy L just because I like the way it sounds.
Right. So it's like Simon Says, Luces.
Luces. Oh,
yeah.
I like it. Stacy Luces. Stacy L. I like it. So Stacy Luces, let's get this straight. Evolution executive coaching is executive coaching practice. So why do female executives need support? Why do you think?
You mentioned it this month, right? This month it's Women's History Month. So all of the places were being celebrated and sort of accoladed. But the reality is, and this is based on a report by McKinsey and Company and leanin.org, that only 24% of C-suite positions in 2022 are held by women, even though we represent 47% of the workforce in the US. And on top of that, on payscale.com, we only earn 82 cents for every dollar earned by men. So that's a huge pay gap. And then work-life balance, right? We've all heard last year was the Great Resignation and all of these things. We're talking more about burnout and wellness and mental kind of aptitude and emotional intelligence and all of those things. So while we do have some seats at the table in executive positions, they're limited. And not only are they limited, but when we make it to the table, we're not being paid equally as the dudes next to us. And then we are too tired to level up because we got to go home and take care of the little ones.
Right. And so thank you for going into that. So tell us, what services do you provide at Evolution Executive Coaching, and what do you see really women needing support in specifically?
Yeah, I feel like when we get to midlife, I'm in my 40s, we all have this notion of, is this it, right? Because the runway in front of us is certainly shorter than the runway behind us. And so a lot of us are thinking about, what's my purpose, right? And on the heels of that, if you are an executive or in a leadership role or running a company, you want to have purpose-driven leadership. And in order to do that, we need to kind of be free to make some choices that really empower us to rise to kind of that full potential of our life. The problem is we feel really stuck in status quo.
Okay.
And if life has greater meaning and we want to rise to that full potential, right, we got to break through that status quo. And sometimes that feels hard on top of everything else I just said, which is why, through seminars and courses, digital courses and workshops and one-on-one coaching, I help women move from feeling stuck and kind of weary and afraid, frankly, step and taking back that freedom and really living not only with purpose, but rising in their own power.
Right. So I want to ask you this. In your experience, what is the most common mistake seen female executives make? Is authenticity something important to tap into?
Because we've been conditioned, from childhood to really question, if I show up as my true self, are people going to like me? And so I think the number one thing that I see women doing when they get to executive positions is they are almost overly collaborative and not really settling into a position of power and authority and making strong decisions. And I think that propensity to stop ourselves or hold back because we don't want to fail and be shown out or found out rather, really hinders a lot of women from really taking it there, whether it's innovation or creativity or the things that really make us, the game changers in this kind of generation that we're in.
Nice. So I want to ask you, how do you help women overcome that feeling of being stuck? Like we hear it all the time, the glass ceiling, the concrete ceiling. Like, how do you help that? How do you help?
So a strategy, and I'll challenge you to do it too, right? We're chatting, and anybody listening, if you're 80 years old and you're in a rocking chair, right? Like if you're in your 40s or 50s, that's coming up, right? In a couple of decades. And the thing about us is we think we have a lot of time. And like I said, the runway behind us is often bigger than the one in front of us. And the one in front of us probably looks a little bit shaky because guess what? We haven't been taking care of our health. Our relationships are in shambles. We aren't making the kind of money we want, and we're closer to retirement. Maybe we don't have that money saved up for the kids, or on this side, maybe some of us are taking care of our aging and ailing parents. So we are literally at a crossroads, and being stuck here is not doing anybody any good. So one of the exercises I walk people through is to write your eulogy. Pretend you're literally standing at your own funeral and you are listening to what's being said about you, and write it as it is today, no frills. The reality, that gap is really what's so powerful. Understanding your current state and then seeing truly where you are, that's the gap I work to help people close.
So I think I definitely heard you say write your own eulogy. Is that what you said?
I did. It's hard, man.
Ooh, oh my word. Okay, so now let's talk about this. I've heard this flying around, and you also mentioned this, the good witch system. What is this?
It's the good witch syndrome, right?
Syndrome. Okay.
Yeah. So it's this kind of, it's a concept where women in particular, especially those of us late 30s, 40s, maybe even early 50s, unintentionally sabotage our own success and happiness. And this really comes from this deep-seated belief that we must always be giving, nurturing, and self-sacrificing to be worthy. This selflessness that we have, and we're kind of holding that up as a banner of a triumphant thing, does not pay us off, especially as we get into our premenopause, menopausal stages and have comorbidities. So maybe we're tapping on being, that couple of pounds overweight is now into obesity. Maybe we have high blood pressure. Maybe we have high cholesterol. So now we're looking at struggling with just all of the things. And the low self-worth piece, we're undeserving of being successful and happy. Exactly. And I think that some ways to overcome this, we've got to reframe what self-care means, right? Like caring for ourselves isn't selfish. It really is essential.
Right. Because I said good with child. I don't know about that now, honey. But let's delve into this if we can, getting the actual practical tools that we can use today to help get that dream life. What would you say?
So the first thing is kind of back to that, assessing where you are, right? Having that clarity around what is it that's missing from your life. For a lot of us at this stage, really, we hinge on maybe three things. One is definitely finances and financial security and feeling confident and secure in how we're prepared for the future. The second thing really is about our own health and our own mortality. Like a lot of us are in stages where maybe we've had friends with diagnoses of cancer, like all of the things. And we're really worried because secretly maybe we haven't done and we aren't doing the things that we're supposed to do to take care of ourselves, to take care of our physical health and wealth. And then relationships. A lot of people, whether you're a single mama or divorced or in a toxic relationship, or you are the head of household or whatever it is, we don't have the time sometimes to really curate the quality of relationships that will sustain us in our later years, or even sustaining us right now. And so a lot of it has to do with identifying some of those gaps, understanding what it is about your life that you want to change. And a lot of us don't actually even know like what that means. What type of quality relationship do you want with your spouse? Like even with my husband, we've been married 20 years. And that's not like a badge of honor. It is what it is. We work with it.
Amen. That is great. 20 years and 20 plus more. Hey, we're rooting for you. It is a good thing. In 2024, that's a good thing. So
yeah, but it takes work, right? It takes work.
I'm still waiting for the ring, honey. So keep me in your prayers, Stacy. Okay. So I'm writing that on paper. So truly, what is the best way? I know our Connect fam wants to know how they can stay tapped in with you. How can they do that and take advantage of your executive coaching services?
Yeah.
Please share.
Yeah. So they're going to share some links. I can be found on LinkedIn and on Instagram at Stacy.Luces. And in my bio, there's a link with all of my services. I created a bunch of freebies for you. Two of them will help you kind of discover what I started talking about here, like what kind of legacy are you leaving? It's a cute little checklist. And if you haven't started or even thought about some of those things, it's a great starting point. The second one is I'm happy to offer a free clarity session. If you want to talk about it or you're just sitting there crying like, oh my God, my eulogy sucks and I need help. And so that's kind of the place to go find me. And then I'm offering a special discount for anybody kind of coming in, hearing me on the show. I've got a digital course debuting. It's called From 9 to 5 to Feeling More Alive. And so I'm happy to offer everybody a 30% discount on that should they want it.
Thank you so much for joining us, Stacy. So many great tips. And Connect Fam, have you written your eulogy? I'm about to say eulogy, child. I can't even say it. Something to think about, but don't move, Connect Fam. There's so much more to come. She's not new to the Connect family. Coming up is CPA, financial planner, entrepreneur, and professor. She's all the things. Oyinka Coakley is back. Don't move.